That's crazy. Because the only pole vaulters I know are female.
Okay, well let me just. This is something that you need to hear, because I think all girls should be aware of this and just kind of protect it a little bit, because like I like that you have this like, hey, that's not fair, you know, that kind of an attitude about it.
Yeah.
Because for us, sports was brand new.
Hi Tommies, my name is Alan Ruckin and you're listening to The Bold, Minneapolis Edison's digital collection of true and personal stories. We believe that storytelling involves healthy risk-taking and can transform the practice through which we build stronger communities.
It's like, hey, that's not fair, you know, that kind of an attitude about it.
Yeah.
Because for us, sports was brand new for girls back then. In 72, they signed Title IX.
Yeah.
And I graduated in 80. So I have a sister-in-law who actually graduated in 72. Mm-hmm. All that was available, and it wasn't a Minneapolis school though, so maybe Minneapolis schools were a little different, but the only thing she had for an option was synchronized swimming.
Really?
That's it. And she was like, well, she tried it, and she was like, oh, it didn't really feel, you know, I didn't like it. So she didn't do anything. And so just really, you know, just a very short time later, because money started to flow into girls' sports, and they got real coaches, and they got real equipment and everything, and it opened up. And so when I arrived, I didn't even know that there hadn't been girls' sports before that, because by 7th grade, it was kind of up and running, it was starting. And the discus, particularly, I think was beautiful, because you really had to, it was a combination of a lot of things. You had to be strong, you had to have really good balance, you had to have great timing, and you really had to put it all together, you know, with a rotational throw that you wanted to throw it exactly in the right direction, because you lose distance if you don't go in the right direction. There was a lot to it that, you know, and when you see people do it, it was really, really nice. Back in the day, we didn't have specialized coaches for things like that, so we were kind of all learning from each other. And there was a camaraderie about that, because we would learn and practice in advance of some meets. If we got there early, we'd take our test throws or our practice throws, warm-up throws, and there'd be, you know, girls from Roosevelt or Washburn or whatever, and we kind of got to know them. And so we'd watch what somebody did, and if you didn't quite see it or you couldn't really figure out exactly what it was, you know, we didn't have videos to go and like take phone videos and look at it. So we're like, hey, can you slow that down and show me what you just did? And they're like, yeah, you know. And so it was like the team was more than just our own city team sometimes. It was the relationships too, across the city, and you know, that was kind of nice too.
Like finals wise, you know, for example, the Roosevelt girl that I went up against, like Reagan or whatever, when I hit my PR, I hit the first 100, and like, you remember North's coach just erupted. And she's like, yes! And she started singing. She's like, it's been a long time coming, you know, like, you know, we still have that feeling and everything, but I was thinking more so like the video and stuff. Like, video is so important to us now. Like, I'll literally throw a practice throw, and I'll have Salzer walk up and be like, really quick, I just want you to see here, you know, like your hip didn't get around fast enough, or your eyes peaked too quick or something like that, you know what I mean? So like video wise, I don't know how I would have did it with no video, because like that's really important to me. Like, we got a Google Drive folder that we share full of video from when I was like a sophomore to now.
Right. I never experienced getting that kind of specialized coaching, and even the girls and the coaches that we had, and I'm not, you know, saying anything negative here about that, because I was just glad that somebody wanted to, but it kind of landed on everybody, I think, relatively quickly, and they had to come up with, you know, a coaching staff, and there weren't girls ahead of us that had gone through programs like that, so that they could become like those first assistant coaches and then those coaches. It was actually, you know, my class really that kind of went out and became those future coaches for girls sports. I mean, before that it was really men teaching and coaching women. Nothing wrong with that, but you know, they were mostly used to coaching the boys, and it's not like there's a huge difference, but for the subtleties, for the, you know, if you don't have the upper body strength, you might have to be a little faster in the rotation, or you might have to be, you know, somehow different in terms of getting your best action. So,
or the idea of you guys, I never thought about that as a coach, that you guys were the ones that were going to be the next set of coaches to come back, and just thinking about you, like coming in and going to a women's wrestling program and coming back and coaching, and it's
well, that's exactly the same thing. If it had never existed before, you know, it's all good. You know, you start out with people that know what they're doing, but then as the girls get that experience and I don't know. I think it's different. Do you think it would be different to have women coaching you for even a sport like wrestling versus having a perfectly competent and well-skilled guy coach?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into wrestling. Like, I won't get too much into details, but like even on like just a regular level, like there's certain, like, just the wrestling styles are just totally different. Like there's men wrestle more like there's a lot of things that they can muscle through, power through that we can't. So there's a lot of things that our flexibility and stuff save us on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like brought to my attention until I got to like a higher, more national level where like coaches started saying like, hey, this, and that. They started switching my technique because I was wrestling boys on like the state level. You know what I'm saying? And like, when you get to nationals, you're gonna get flipped around because these girls are gonna defend you by hitting a split. A random guy's not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So just like, you might meet a one or two, but like a lot of these girls are gonna they're gonna do that all the time. You know what I mean?
This has been a product of ETSN, Edison Tommy Student Network. It's your story. We'll help you tell it.